Hey, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for tuning into my channel. I'm Rondale Jordan, aka DJBlackSwanRadio.com. I have worldview conversations, worldview discussions to spark thought-provoking conversations, as I say. And the title of this episode is The Eyes of Truth. I'm a big proponent of scholarship. Scholarship, I think, breaks down to three main pillars. And, the first, education, economics, right? You got to fundraise, you get a scholarship to go to college, right? That's funding to go to study and explore. So, educate, earn, explore. And these are the three E's, the eyes of truth, right? And one of the things that I enjoy exploring is the Bible, scriptures, outside of the frame of mind of religion. But as a scholar, an investigator of my ancestors, right, representing my ancestry, which is Afro-American. I have indigenous, Native American blood in me. I have African blood in me, and I also have English blood in me. So this is a trinity. This is a, Ham, Shem, and Japheth mixture, as if you will, biblically. Like I said, I like to explore the Bible from outside of religion, but reading it as if it is a historical document that is giving us insight to the world before and the world after and our current times. You see what I'm saying? So I can read Genesis 2:10, for an example, and see the description of the river that watered Eden. And based off the description and the details, I can tell that that is the Nile River. Right? The king, it talks about the land of Havilah, talks about land of Cush, and then it also discusses the kingdom of Assyria. And this is Genesis 2. So ultimately, I know that we're not talking about the first human beings on the planet Earth. We're talking about the second millennium BC. You understand? The second millennium BC. Before Christ. Before the Christian era. And what that means is that these texts outdate or predate the institutions in which has monopolized it. And I'm not judging whether it's right or wrong, good or evil, none of that. I'm just saying it is what it is. We need to understand all the variables that goes into these scriptures, because these were translated from other languages, most notably Latin and Greek. These are the ones that are notably, because these are Europeans. But the one thing that you will notice if you do read these Bible stories word for word, as if it is a book, an ordinary book or history book, you'll see that it is very, very cleverly, poetically written. It is indeed a divine textbook because of the the amount of thought and the truths that are revealed in it. It's a book of curses on black people. The curse of ignorance, the process of domestication, designed to limit your thoughts and beliefs, to reduce you to what Adam was formed for, which was to be a field laborer, a laborer, someone who trades their lifetime for labor in exchange for what we call currency. See, we never ask, where does this currency that we're working for come from? So imagine this, right? Imagine this. Imagine you are working for flakes of gold. Every day you work for a flake of gold. You and all your peers and every one of your family members are all earning a flake of snow. A flake of gold. Generation after generation after generation, they just give you a slightly bigger flake of snow, flake of gold. And you use these flakes of gold to go buy food. You got to pay the man who allows you to live in their house. You have to pay for the lights and water and the roads that you drive on. So you earn these flakes, but when you leave, you spend the flakes. So you have to keep coming back to get more new flakes. I said all that to say is, when do you come to the point when you ask, where does the boss get the flakes of gold from? Where does he get the gold from? Now, if he has to go and dig the gold and he gets stones of gold from digging the gold, that's one thing. It makes sense, right? You may one day decide that you want to maybe purchase some land where you can find your own chunks of gold. That could be an option. But either way, it makes sense. But what if you found out, number one, that the flakes of gold aren't real? What if you found out that the flakes of gold are made in large sums in factories? They're not mined at all. And an unlimited amount of these flakes of gold are available. Would you still work for the flakes of gold, knowing that they're not doing anything for those flakes of gold, that there's an unlimited supply of the flakes of gold, and the only reason why you are getting flakes of gold is, and the only reason why they're giving you the small amount flakes of gold is to keep you coming back. Because they know if you give you bigger chunks of gold, this will empower you. This will cause you not to need to come back and do what you are doing. Yeah, the whole ration, the concept about the amount to give you is to prevent you from being able to become self-sufficient, to keep you reliant. You see what I'm saying? And so, this is what we are dealing with, and it's okay. If you are trying to manage masses of people, you need a default. You need to keep these people in alignment with the overall objective, the greater good. And so it is up to us to realize, to come up out of the psychosis, not to buck the system, not to break the system, but to use the knowledge to live a fulfilling life. The reason why is because you will find that it is not the system that is the enemy, it's the people who rely on the system. And I'm not talking about funding. I'm talking about there's people that live in the bliss of ignorance and enjoy it. And if that's what they choose to do with their life, some people want a simple existence, which is fine, which is awesome. Let these people create their heaven. But understand that there is no other time that you will get to create your heaven here on earth after this life that you have been given. If you have been so blessed to pass the baton on to others to keep your lineage going forward, it's going to be their turn. And if you want to live in those days in the future, you better invest in them, in creating experiences with these people who you hope to remember you, and the stories that of how their lives have been enhanced by your presence, because we are experiences. We are people, we are spirits embodied, and when we enter another person's life, they experience us. And we either bring them enlightenment, we bring them joy, we bring them happiness, laughter, or we bring them drama, worry. The spirit that we are, the vibe, as they say, it is going to be described as from God or of the enemy based upon how people experience you.